100 men versus one gorilla. I feel like we should let this happen. But also let's look at this a little more scientifically. Let's start with the men. Let's start with the men. So one thing about me, I'm a lady of science. I'm a lady of numbers. Show me the facts, and then I'll give you my opinions. So we're going to focus, I would like to say, we're going to focus at this point country by country. I was born in the United States. I know that, and the fact that I'm straight, I can't be perfect. But we are going to start off with men, more specifically, from the United States. Just the average man. So the average American man is approximately 5'9". I know they're all lying to you on Hinge, Bumble, and all those other apps. Weighs around 200 pounds, yes, I will round up, and has a waist circumference of 40.5 inches. All right, cool, whatever. But then you get down here and it says the average male body fat percentage can vary by age, but it's generally around 15 to 20% for healthy men, according to a 2024 study by the National Institute of Health. But then begs the question, how many of these men are actually healthy? The answer's definitely going to be low. And before I start diving into some of those numbers, I recognize that even the internet is trying to be delicate with men's feelings, but that's the general for healthy men. All I asked was for the average man, the stats for the average man. Healthy is not average. Show me the numbers, Google. So bam, one quick Google search. This is one of the first articles that came up from NBC. How bad is the average guy's diet? People's eating choices usually fall into certain patterns. A recent study of men's eating patterns points out the various health risks each poses, reports registered dietitian Karen Collins. Now, I will not be reading this whole article. I will literally just jump to the end. But before I do that, hello. My name is Shayna. I'm a journalist. On this platform, I talk a lot about decentering men and child-free living. If any of that sounds like a vibe, please like, share, and subscribe. I also have a course that teaches you how to make money off of your writing by becoming a freelance writer. And if you want more content like this, head over to my Patreon. I also talk a lot about my travels. I'm currently living in Spain, and I'm relocating to Thailand. So if any of that is interesting to you, Patreon is where it's at. Now, let's dive back into this. Despite the differences among these 5 groups, I don't remember what the 5 groups were, and it doesn't matter. Why? They all exceeded recommended amounts of saturated fat and sodium and fell below vegetable, fruit, and whole grain suggestions. More than 3/4 of the men in every group were overweight or obese. Physical activity scores were also low in all groups. These shortcomings are warning signs because, in addition to heart disease, they also raise the risk of cancer and diabetes. Now, I already have a whole other video talking about how women in men's lives, consistently in men's lives, literally increases their life expectancy. But that is not the topic of this video. The topic of this video in this moment is figuring out what are the stats for the average man, specifically in the United States at this moment, since y'all want to be all big and bad talking about you can fight gorillas. So the average man is on death's door, a short king knocking on death's door. So let's imagine 100 of these guys versus a gorilla. Now, let's just take a look at the stats of a gorilla. So we're just going to start off with some of the basics here. So a typical silverback weighs 430 pounds or 190 kg. I've seen this number vary from website to website, but this is a good median number, and stands at 5 feet tall or 1.5 meters. Now, this number also varies. I have seen from 4'11" to 5'5". And when they say tall, that means on all fours. Silverbacks are incredibly strong and can lift over 1,763 pounds or 800 kilograms of dead weight. That is roughly twice as much as a well-trained lifter. In the wild, a silverback uses its immense strength to fell trees in order to reach their fruit, etc., etc. Now on this website, I was not able to get this out of the way. Sorry, what can you do? But this is the strength of a silverback gorilla. Now I only think that it's fair that, the 100 men, they should at least first like fight a fully grown silverback. Now silverbacks, they start reaching maturity at, I think they said like 8, 9 years old, but no, you don't want to be fighting a teenager. You should wait until they're fully grown. I think that's around like 12, 13 years old. So a fully grown silverback gorilla is about twice the weight of an adult man. Once again, can vary as we have, there's a bug in here. Sorry. Can vary, because the guys that we were just talking about in the United States, this is way more than 2 of them. They are over 9 times stronger than an adult male. Their body weight and incredible strength is all because of a higher ratio of muscle mass. And guess what? To have that much muscle mass, you gotta be pretty healthy. No hate to those asthmatics out there, but you can't be huffing and puffing when you're out there in the wild. So, we're gonna, and an angry silverback would beat a man to a pulp. That side silverback gorillas are not aggressive unless threatened. Now, why are you going out of your way to threaten a silverback? They have no heat for you. They're out there enjoying their lives. But listen, you want to bring it. So you know what? Let's just put a final nail in this coffin. They have a higher bite force than a grizzly bear. So here's what I think I would like to see. I think that I would like to see, because I don't think that it's fair to have like all 100 men swarm a singular gorilla. I just don't think that that's fair. So I think they should go in groups, smaller groups, no more than maximum 10 at a time. Will we judge? Absolutely, because why are you trying to hide amongst your gals? But I would say, okay, 10 at a time. And then you could do like 10 groups of 10 and, make a plan. But no weapons. You just got to go in there with your high cholesterol and your bad knees and your, I don't know, encephalitis, and try and beat this gorilla. I think that that's one way to go about it. I also think that you could do one-on-one, and then everybody just kind of goes one-on-one and see if they tire him out. Now, I would say, I don't like the idea of 100 on 1 immediately, because then, like, what are you really proving? That you're a bully? Okay. I bet you were super cool in middle school. Now, at the end of the day, the gorilla's gonna win. But I don't think that that has to mean that the argument is over, though. I think that maybe we just need to find another group of men, and maybe it was the wrong gorilla. It still needs to be a fully grown silverback gorilla, but maybe it was the wrong gorilla, wrong group. So I suggest that maybe we just keep doing this experiment until we all learn something. Now, what do we have to learn? I don't know. My name is just Shayna. I'm just here to pose information and say, what are we going to do with this? I don't know. The situation's a little big for Elmo, but I am curious about the scientific outcome. So sure, if we have to do 7, 15, 32 rounds of this experiment to actually science, for the sake of science, I think it should be done. In fact, I think that there should be a committee of 4 people. Me, Bill Nye, Miss Frizzle, and I don't know, somebody else. We already have a man on the panel. Bill Nye is there, so it doesn't have to be another man, but it should be somebody of science. I don't know. You can leave your suggestions in the comments, but I think that we should let the men and the gorilla fight. Now, those are all of my thoughts. Please stay safe out there, and I'm going to bed. Bye-bye.